5:15 on Wednesday, October 8th. So I'd like to call this meeting of the Oregon Public Library Board to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Stata.
Here.
Nelson. Here. Reese.
Here.
Bergstrom.
Here.
Bonsonfield.
Here.
Goplin and Beshan. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have an agenda this evening. Thank you. Any community input tonight? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion to amend or approve the minutes from our September meeting?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll take two.
Thank you. Any comments on the minutes?
Very thorough.
Okay. Thank you. So all in favor of approving the minutes from September?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moving on to review and payment of available bills and accepting the financial reports. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anything you'd like to point out today, Jennifer?
Nothing in particular of note, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on any expenses.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or concerns? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're flying through today. Moving on to the library director's report.
So the big news in the library world this week is that one of the main vendors for book material purchases has gone out of business. And so Laura and team have kind of pivoted multiple times this week and are working. We had probably about 550 different titles on order that they have canceled and are working on purchasing through a different vendor to try to get those titles this calendar year and adjusting all of our accounting to match new pricing for those items and such. So thank you to Laura for working really hard on doing that, and for Kelly and Kara for being super flexible with their work. The Friends of the Library have their book sale coming up on October 17th and 18th, Friday and Saturday. So I encourage you to support that or share the word if you're able to. Their book sale funds go directly to fund library programming each year, and that's our main source of funding for library programming. So helping the sale helps our programs. We will be closed on Friday, November 21st for our staff in-service. If you see our community room or our reading room, we have art display by 14 South artists from a number of their artist members. So I encourage you to stop by and see their artwork. Kelly has an upcoming story time that will be Spanish language focused on Saturday, October 24th for Dia de los Muertos. So that's a nice opportunity, which is funded by a grant from the Beyond the Page. And we've also used some of that grant funding to translate our library brochure into Spanish language for those who appreciate and need that. I'm happy to answer any questions about that. Otherwise, I'll move on to the manager report.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Jennifer. We'll move on to the quarterly reports.
So again, you can see the wonderful things that our staff are doing. You'll see the usual programming efforts, a lot of community partnerships, just a lot of busyness in terms of collection, helping patrons get things in and out of the library, just serving customers. But you'll also notice a lot of things are, troubleshooting or documenting or training or creating instructions. So we're kind of in that phase of moving to the new library where we're trying to finally formalize and make sure we have good documentation in place for everything that we're doing. And that we have structures in place for troubleshooting challenges. You'll also kind of see themes of improving processes. So some of the things like that, the AV repair machine that we got, you'll see Laura talking about reviewing our printing procedures so that we can optimize and save costs when staff print things by what printer they use. So just a lot of streamlining. Also, you see themes of preparing for our migration, which will be moving to a new library system in April of 2025. So there's a lot of cleanup, data, proactive activities that need to happen for that to be successful. So happy to answer any questions, but I just want to do a shout out to them because they're all doing a lot of those things in addition to their normal things. And even though we've been in the library for almost 2 years now, there's still a lot of that transitional work that it's not just about moving the space, it's all the things that support the staff that go along with all those changes that accompany that activity.
Thank you.
For events, you have our October event highlights schedule. Again, we have regular teen programming, thanks to the teen librarian, we were able to add in the new library, some fun children's activities. We do have 2 dogs, therapy dogs that kids can read to, which is a great opportunity. And a great storytime partnership with CI Pediatric Therapy, which is a great program. Kelly had the star party last night. It was rescheduled due to the weather, but it sounded like it went great, and registration was full, so all the spots were used, which is always wonderful when you're maxing out your attendance. A couple of the adult programs, we have a Bats Wisconsin program coming up, Victory Over Japan Day program, and I can't talk today, Indigenous food sampling program. So yeah, lots of great things, and kudos to our entire staff who works on programming and promotion of events.
Yeah, a lot of exciting events coming. Let's see, monthly statistic reports.
So Alicia, when she sent this over, said that every single statistic in September 2025 was higher than September 2024 across the board, every single category. So that's great to see that continued increase in growth as we expected. We're on track to be pretty close to the total number for circulation that we had last year, just because January and February were so high because of all the visitors to see our new facility, that we're watching for the rest of the year to kind of catch up to that part of it. The meeting room and study room usage continue to go up. Just very popular. Study rooms are very popular, so we've had a really great demand for the rooms, which is more than we were maybe expecting. And so now our challenges are during the day, we have a lot of adults that want to use the room more than the number of rooms we have, and then after school, it kind of goes the other way. So we're kind of working on streamlining our workflow to make sure that everybody who needs a study room can get one, but we're not taking opportunities away from youth and teens who need to use the room as well. Happy to answer any questions, but just glad to be able to share that those stats are all kind of increasing as we had hoped.
Yeah, they didn't increase them by a little, they all increased by quite a bit. So it's fantastic to see. Thank you. Committee reports, report from the personnel committee.
Just that we met last week to do the first phase of the discussion around our library director's annual evaluation.
Thank you. Any communications from village board? Don't think so. Any school district announcements?
Just that I hope people had an opportunity to take part in any of the homecoming celebrations last week. It was something that met and exceeded expectations related to participation. And I think we had almost a couple thousand people at the game, which was really quite exciting to see that sea of orange and black. And the pep assembly at the high school was unlike anything I've ever seen related to the amount of participation and the just pure joy that the students were expressing through all the different activities. And the parade was just as, I don't know, old-fashioned and sweet as usual. So it was a great week.
Thank you. Yeah, very warm, but it was a great week. The chocolate that was being handed out in the parade was very melty.
We were sweaty. Yes.
Never left in the parade until this year.
It was very warm.
Oh,
Yes.
this is my first year back.
I also had to walk in the parade. It was quite warm.
There's also included in our packet the Friends of the Library newsletter. Was there anything you'd like to point out from that, Jennifer?
No, this is just a great way if you want to share the book sale information, it is included in there. So it's an easy way to share. We'll be inviting them to do their annual visit to our library board meeting in the coming months. So expect to see them tell us about their book sale.
Great, thank you. Great. Moving on to 7A, the 2026 library budget request.
So I had this on here because you never know when you're gonna have something that requires action. But at this point, there's no proposed reductions to the budget requests that we have discussed previously, other than tweaks to reflect changes in personnel costs that were estimated and are now official. So the village budget schedule, they were talking about the budget at their meeting on Monday night this week, and they'll have another budget, large budget discussion on Monday Monday in 2 weeks from now. I think that'll be the 21st. And so then their process is they usually approve the budget on November 17th. This year's when that meeting would typically fall. They'll have a public hearing and typically adopt it at that November meeting. So at that point, we would formally adopt our budget again with any of the changes that have occurred to those other line items. Are there any questions? There's no action we need to take. I just wanted to make sure we had the opportunity to discuss any surprises or changes that may have come.
Thank you, and thanks for the update. Moving on to Amendment 1 to agreement with HGA for professional services.
So this is something that I should have had at last meeting and didn't occur to me until we went to schedule the work, that I kind of misunderstood a little bit about whether it was included in the previous work that HGA did or not. So we, at our last meeting, approved moving forward with 2 of the HVAC, the controls measures that will help us save energy by not running the building on full capacity when we just have staff here. So from roughly 4:30 in the morning to 9 a.m. we have staff in the building but no patrons. We don't need to run everything, but we do need to have it comfortable for staff. And so we can save by adjusting the settings to capitalize on those things when we're not occupied by the public and don't need everything operating full speed. But we would benefit by having a commissioning agent work in collaboration with the controls folks to verify that the measures are doing what we had hoped. And then as part of the proposal they included would be to do a 3-month check back once the savings are in place to verify that the savings that we're expecting are actually happening, so we can make other adjustments if needed to those particular measures. So I think it's up to $1,000 based on time and materials actually spent. So if less time is spent, then it would be less. So you see the agreement from HGA to do those services. So I would recommend approval of that.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the amendment to the HGA agreement?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And now renewal of the landscaping management services.
So typically Bruce Company does not do landscaping service contracts with business clients unless they have a mowing contract. We do not have a mowing contract, but because they did our original install and we've been working with them on getting various parts of our landscaping the way that we want them to be so that they're sustainable and healthy and successful, they were willing to continue the agreement for 1 more year. They did just replace some of the landscaping items above and beyond what would have been covered under warranty. And then I think the issue now we're looking at is the turf, to make sure that the turf is coming in, because there's some spots where it's not maybe established as much as we'd like it to be, to just ensure that it doesn't get really weedy in the future. So we want it to be as healthy as possible so that from then on it can kind of take care of itself a little easier. So we got a proposal to continue the services that they did this year for 1 more year. And so I would recommend that we do that to try to get everything established as well as we can.
Do you need a move it? Motion to that effect.
Yes, and I should note that there were some things like mulching that in the old library, the Friends of the Library did, but neither, because of the scale of the property, even though our volunteer team is amazing and they're here weeding by hand regularly, the scale of the project and the time available for Public Works is not sufficient enough for either of those to commit to taking the project. So we do have added value of weeding that's going on by volunteers that is not included in this contract that complements those services.
So I hear a motion to approve the contract.
I would like to make that motion.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Laura. Sure. Any discussion or questions?
Question, Jennifer, I presume you're very happy with their services and you feel it's a good fit for our library?
Yes, I would like to continue just moving forward. It's unlikely that they would want to renew beyond this just because we don't have the mowing services, so that might be an opportunity for us to bid the process competitively and make sure we're engaging local firms. But because of their generosity and covering things maybe above and beyond and making sure we're going to, because of the familiarity with installing everything,
Right,
I think they're a logical partner for one more year and then we can revisit it
thank you.
next year.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. We'll move forward with that contract. Wow, we have flown through our agenda today. Our next meeting is Wednesday, November 12th, here in the library at 5:15 p.m. Are there any requests for future agenda items? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Thanks, John. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Laura. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're